Hey, everybody. We're Warren and Julie, and we're glad that you're joining us today with the International Living Team. Um, we are full time travelers. We've been traveling for 5 years, slow traveling to see what it's like to live in different countries, different places. In the last 4 years, really throughout Europe, and we do this with our two dogs. But our goal is to see what is it like to actually live somewhere and see what does it cost, and is it someplace we would want to live, and can we live there? So, we're going to share our knowledge and experience of a country that we really like to spend some time in. Very beautiful location,
Absolutely.
Slovenia. It's really a fantastic little country, nestled in between Croatia, Austria, and Italy. So much to offer, lifestyle, and gosh, Julie, what can you tell us about the country to start off with?
Well, I want you to picture this: breathtaking landscapes, medieval towns, a rich cultural heritage, and surprisingly affordable cost of living. So imagine whether you're walking through the charming streets of Ljubljana or you're gazing at the postcard perfect Lake Bled. Slovenia is really becoming a top destination for those seeking a high quality lifestyle without the hefty price tag. And it offers so much more than just the beautiful scenery. If you're hiking the Julian Alps, it is amazing, and you can savor fresh local food throughout Slovenia. There's something truly for everyone. But the best part is it's surprisingly affordable next to other European countries. So let's start with the basics. Slovenia's cost of living is incredibly affordable, but you need to venture beyond the capital. For example, Slovenia has Ljubljana and Bled, and they're iconic areas and they're stunning, but they come with a really high price tag. But if you head to a smaller town, kind of like Škofja Loka or Kranj, you can rent a place for as little as 350 per month, and that would be euros, so that's closer to $400 per month. And if you compare that to what it cost in Ljubljana at 1,000 euros a month in most places, that's a real bargain. But Škofja Loka is perhaps far smaller than Ljubljana, but you can get so much more for your money. So let's imagine you want to buy some real estate. Currently, you could buy an apartment in Škofja Loka, about 900 square feet, and it's going to cost you about $190,000. And this really won't need renovations. But if you want something in Ljubljana for that, you're going to be needing to spend about $288,000. So these smaller cities, they offer a lot of value. So if you're looking for the charm and the beauty of Slovenia, look a little outside the capital. At least that was our experience.
But I do think we need to let everybody know, though, that while what Julie's describing is fantastic, trust me, there's a catch. So you're going to want to stick around to the end to find out what that catch is.
Absolutely, and it's a big catch. So Slovenia is fantastic for so many things, from the high quality of the food available to the reasonable prices. But let's talk a little bit about the cuisine. The cuisine there is amazing. You have a blend of Italian, Austrian, and Balkan, but everything's almost organic and local. So that's really a big difference between there and many other places. So whether you're going to dine at a casual cafe or a fine restaurant, the prices are more affordable outside the capital, but it's still in Slovenia and in Ljubljana. It's still much more affordable than many European countries. So you're getting a bargain. And in smaller towns like Kranj or Škofja Loka, you'll find delicious meals at a fraction of the cost of the larger cities. We ordered, and the salad was a really generous portion. It was extremely fresh, delicious, and I was impressed. But if I ordered that same salad, which was very much what I did in the next restaurant, but in Ljubljana, it was a lot more expensive. So my salad that cost me about 8 to 9 euros in Škofja Loka, something similar cost me 14 euros in the capital. So as you can see, there's a big difference and about 25% or more in most cases. Maribor is also a great city to visit.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just thinking about Maribor and
It is. And there, your prices are about 10% lower than Ljubljana, but you still get a really awesome city. It is just surrounded by absolute beauty, and the food is fantastic, and the hiking is incredible. So while you can see that Slovenia has so many varieties of places, it can be very affordable in some areas. The capital is going to cost you more. For example, high quality groceries are available all over Slovenia. The local markets are filled with fresh seasonal produce, and supermarkets have affordable goods. Organic produce, dairy products, traditional Slovenian specialties are much cheaper than Austria and Italy, and that makes it easy for expats to maintain a healthy diet without overspending. Shopping at Lidl in the city center, we found meat prices were significantly lower than in France. And we buy a lot of chicken breast. So we paid $6 per kilogram compared to $11 in France. That's a big savings. Fresh fruits and vegetables had great variety. They were readily available. Lidl's right downtown in Ljubljana, which is, just so convenient. There are little small grocers that are scattered around the city, but many carry meat products. Slovenia has a high meat consumption, but there are some vegan-friendly places. And, Slovenia just makes it easy to maintain a healthy diet.
You mentioned healthy diet. Okay, I like some unhealthy foods, and I like to have my beer, my wine, and
your gelato.
And my gelato. So there's a lot I like about Slovenia. However, if you are indulging, one of the great things about Slovenia is the ability to work this stuff off, because Slovenia has natural beauty all over the place, and there's hiking trails through forests, up to castles, and just all over the place, and the beautiful, beautiful lakes. So Slovenia's natural beauty it's a dream for nature lovers. So you've got crystal clear lakes like Lake Bohinj, and you got the rugged Julian Alps. It's an outdoor enthusiast paradise, and best of all, these adventures come at little to no cost. Making this country an ideal spot for those people who like the great outdoors without breaking the bank. And so whether you're hiking, swimming, or simply taking in the views, Slovenia offers a diverse array of outdoor activities. Lake Bled is one of the places we like to drive up to and spend some time. We love Lake Bled, and it's just so beautiful, and the dogs love it here as well. And we couldn't have picked a better day. You happy to be here, R?
24 Celsius.
Katie, you happy? Yeah, we got a couple happy pups. Of course, if you want to stay there, that's a fantastic place to go get a place to stay, a chalet, a cabin, whatever, and just enjoying that area. And so it's an iconic place. It's full of natural wonders. It's got emerald waters in that lake, and there's a beautiful little island in the middle, and you've got Bled Castle that overlooks it, perched up on the cliff. And
it's stunning.
Yeah, and the walk around the lake, we did it a couple times, just a complete circle. It's a great way to spend the day, take a picnic, and just enjoying it, and really at no cost, and getting these stunning views. And you can go swimming in the lake there, and lots of people go swimming. There's little restaurants and cafes, so you can stop and you can have a pizza, have a beer, a glass of wine, if you don't want to do the picnic. But and it was just such an awesome place to be. So you're gonna stroll along. You'll pass through lush forests, vibrant gardens, small parks, and there's just the overall opportunity just to be in a place that is just so extremely gorgeous that you almost want to pinch yourself to say, is it really real?
Oh, yeah.
The sceneries are like being in a painting. You know, there's beaches there to relax, and I don't know, and the people there are friendly. And
They are.
I would recommend going up and spending some time up in the Lake Bohinj and the Lake Bled area. And if you can, it's a little bit pricier than some of the places if you wanted to rent a place and stay. So if you have a higher end budget, you can find a nice accommodation there. But if you are willing to drive or take some public transportation there, it'll be a non-expensive day to spend out in one of the most beautiful places in Europe. And having been to most areas of Europe, when I say one of the most beautiful places in Europe, I mean it. So between the Lake Bled Bohinj area, and you have Lake Como up around Bellagio, and you have Kotor Bay in Montenegro, the fjords up in Norway. These are like places that are breathtaking and
So special.
yes.
You know, and if you want to get outside of the city of Ljubljana, the capital, or you don't want to go to the high touristed area of Lake Bled, as I mentioned before, Škofja Loka is a nice little city. It's a medieval city, and it is picturesque, and it's in the heart of Slovenia, and it's only a short drive from Ljubljana. And there it's known for its well-preserved architecture, beautiful cobblestone streets, charming town square, and it really offers a glimpse into the country's history. And the town, it's dominated by the impressive Škofja Loka Castle, and it overlooks the valley and provides just stunning views. It's got a quaint atmosphere, traditional wooden bridges, surrounding scenic areas, and it's just the perfect little destination for those looking to experience the authentic charm of Slovenia's smaller towns. And to us, it was a very special time we spent there. We really enjoyed it.
And you know, you've got these little towns and places, and getting around Slovenia is not hard. Now we go all over Europe by our own car because we have our dogs. We travel everywhere with them, but public transportation is very affordable, and they've got a really robust public transportation system. So whether or not you're just sticking around Ljubljana or you're trying to get from town to town with different buses, and there's opportunities to get from place to place without breaking the bank. So you have the Urbana card in Ljubljana. It gives you access to buses, trains, and even the bike stations that you can rent the bikes. And it's all for really a fraction of the cost of other European cities. So in Ljubljana, the buses, they're pretty easy to use. You can pay with your phone or card on board, and you'll get your card that you can get the little stations. And you know, a single ride is typically going to cost €4 or less to get the bus all over the place. And then if you're not sure how to take the bus, you can use Google Maps or an app called Move It, and that will help you to get from place to place, to negotiate it pretty easily. But biking is pretty easy. Now, don't try to ride your bike through the pedestrian center of Ljubljana, which is totally a beautiful place, great for walking. Occasionally, you'll see somebody trying to ride their bike through there, and it really should be a no-go. And most people are smart enough to walk their bikes through there, but take the pedestrian zones, walk the pedestrian zones. But to get from point A to point B around Ljubljana, a bike is a fantastic way to go, because some of these parks are pretty large, and getting from place to place, and you just want to like get there quickly, take the bike trails.
But can you believe it's €1 for a week, or if you were living there, it's €3 for a year.
Yeah, that just I almost feel like that's got to be wrong. But yeah, so if you want to ride bikes around,
And you only need your email address and a PIN code. So, I mean, it's so easy.
and so let's also talk about Slovenia as far as safety and cleanliness. It's a pretty clean place.
Pristine, in my opinion.
Yes. And it's very, very safe. It's they've committed to being sustainable and being environmental stewards of their country and protecting its resources and its environment. for not just them and their generations to come, but for the tourism. They realize this is an important part of who they are, and they try to really put forth the best face they can. And they don't, the Slovenians are not out there trying to destroy their environment. And
Low crime rates,
Yes.
very low crime rates.
and one thing that's great about Slovenia is, well, they speak a language that's similar to Serbian and Croatian. It's not hard to get by in English because people have been learning how to speak English there for quite a long time. It's mandatory in school, so if you're not able to find somebody speaking English, look for somebody under 40. There's a good chance they're going to be able to help you out and you could get by with their assistance. But the Google translation app is really, really easy to use, and you just switch it over to Croatian, and it's the same. If you don't have Slovenian as an option, Croatian is a language that you can use to help to bridge that and get
And
you
we
by.
found that most of the signs are bilingual and most things are clearly marked in English, so that made it easy. If you want to rent a car, that's pretty easy, and travel in nearby countries is incredibly simple, but don't forget your necessary vignetas or your toll passes for Slovenia itself and its surrounding countries. And I find that more and more that I look, Ljubljana is easily accessible from many places, but from Italy's Treviso airport, as well as many other places, you could use GoOpti's transfer service, and that's perfect for anyone who's flying in with Ryanair or any low-cost carriers. So it's very easy to get to Slovenia from Italy and other areas. But here's the catch, and we mentioned this in the beginning of the video. Slovenia might not be for everyone, and even though it might seem like a dream come true for expats, the country's residency process and taxes are incredibly difficult to navigate. Obtaining permanent residency can be complicated and costly, and the requirements are tough. And the taxes can be draconian.
Yeah,
It's not impossible, but it's a hurdle.
So let me interject here. First off, if you're not familiar with the way Europe is laid out, Slovenia is part of something called the Schengen. So when we look at the Schengen zone of Europe, it's 29 countries spread throughout Europe. That as an American, you can spend 90 days every 180 days inside of the Schengen zone. If you don't have residency somewhere, all those countries have to be considered basically one country, then you have to leave the zone. So if you cannot get residency in Slovenia, you can still opt to live there for 90 days, but then you have to leave for 90 days and come back for 90 days. One of the best options if you're going to do what we call the Schengen Shuffle, if you want to live in Slovenia, that's where your heart is, and getting residency can be very difficult. You can look at potentially own a home in Slovenia, live there for basically 3 months, leave for 3 months, come back for 3 months, and shuffle down to Montenegro, where we own a home. And we actually love Montenegro as our Schengen Shuffle location because basically you could play this game with any country in Europe, whether it's Italy, France, Norway, Denmark. You come down to Montenegro, spend your 3 months basically. Maybe you go make a little run over to Serbia, go over to Albania, Dane, Bosnia, but then you take off and you go spend the 3 months in your primary country that you would like to live, your fantasy country, so if you want to call it that. So if Slovenia is your fantasy country, can you live there and get residency? It really depends on who you are and how deep your pockets are. So it's a country we could easily live in if residency was really something we would want to do with the rules that are in place. So there's a lot of bureaucracy, red tape to go through, but basically you have to open a company to get residency there. And it can't just be like in some places where you can get residency by opening a company that doesn't really do any business and doesn't really have much of a purpose, but you have a corporation, you get your residency. With Slovenia, you actually have to have a company that's doing work. And you can have one residency permit from that company. And if you wanted to bring on a spouse, so if I wanted to start a company, put the money into making this company, which I think has a minimum requirement of 7,500 euros. But it goes beyond that as far as the amount of income that needs to be derived and the amount of taxes. And some of these taxes go up into the 40 percentile on worldwide income potentially. I mean, there's so many things that you have to really, really want the dream of Slovenia to make it a place to
Yes.
to hang your hat. And you have to have the pockets worth potentially having a company, running a company, paying these high taxes. And then if I wanted to bring Julie over under the company, she has to fill a position with that company that nobody else in Slovenia could qualify for. And I have to go out and try to hire somebody from within Slovenia before I could hire my own wife onto the company. And then if I wanted to bring her in as a spouse, I might have to wait a year, or to bring the kids in, wait a year to bring them in. And to retain my residency, to go towards permanent residency, you can't leave the country more than 10 months in a 5-year period of time.
And I would have to know the Slovenian language on top of it all.
Yeah, so we love Slovenia, but Slovenia, if you love it, it's a primary country that we would tell you to look at doing the Schengen shuffle to make that your home. Now, the negative about making it your primary Schengen shuffle, realize that if you're spending 90 days there, leaving for 90 days and coming back, that means out of all the 29 countries of Europe, Slovenia is your place, because you won't have time to explore the others if that's where you're buying your home and making your home. But it is a place that if you were doing it as a tourist, you lived there for 90 days, it's easy to run to Austria, Italy, Croatia. There's countries right around the corner, so it could be a good place to have a home base. And if you had a home there, it's probably a place you could probably rent out for an Airbnb, make some money when you're not there, because it is a desirable location. So from an investment standpoint, there could be some options there if you did choose to make that your home base.
Exactly. So it's undoubtedly a hidden gem. And for those seeking a beautiful, high quality lifestyle, and willing to go through the major obstacle, it is a choice to be made. But, weigh all of the factors and get in touch with an expert, a professional who can really help you.
Yeah. So thank you, International Living, again for the opportunity to speak to your audience. And from Julie and I and our 2 dogs that we travel with, have a great day. And until next time, ciao.
Ciao.